Alright, everybody, welcome to our live tutorials for VRChat World Development. Today, we are be talking about UI. We're always be talking about interactable elements, and we're gonna try to talk about other good stuff today. First, let's talk about UI, so user interfaces. That is what we'll be talking about today, as well as interactable stuff. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we're gonna be talking about today. So, as you guys can see here, we have the Unity screen. Now, so today we're gonna be talking about UI. We're also talking about interactable element, and we're also gonna be talking about teleport. So that is the agenda for today. So today, first, let's talk about what is making an interactable object. So we're gonna be also talking about Udon Graph Programming Assets today. Huge point in VRChat. So to get started, we are going to go ahead and make a simple cube. But first, let me open my photos because I have the photos for today. We're going to have the photos for the lesson today. We're first going to make a teleporter. I'm going to explain the Udon graph in a moment. That's why I left it open. But let's first go ahead and do this room. And we're going to make a little cube. So what we do is we go to Pro Builder and we go make a new shape. We're going to make a cube like that. We're going to use the move tool and then we're going to call this teleport cube. Okay, we're going to go ahead and rotate it like this and we're going to make it a shape. We're going to go ahead and put it to the wall. So we can go up here. We're going to the wall. Oops, it's a little bit off. A little bit right around there. So I'm going to put this to the wall. So that once we click on it, or if you want to say press the cube, we're going to teleport to another location in the house. We're also going to find a material that we could use. Let's go to the Brick Project Studio. Let's go to prefabs, not prefabs. Let's go to common. Let's go to materials. Let's go to fire. Ooh, look at this one. Ew. Never mind. Let's go to basic assets and let's make this a yellow one like that. We can play around with this. It does not matter. What matters is we have the cube. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and make a empty game object under house one. We're gonna go to create empty, and we're gonna call this teleport. We're gonna call this teleport location as an empty object. Then under teleport location, we're gonna create an empty child. We're gonna make a child. So we're gonna make a empty, create empty. We're gonna call this kitchen teleport. The reason why we need this is because it's gonna become a variable. So we're gonna go ahead and put this at inspector. We can call this at 000. Actually, it is already at 000. We're just gonna put it to the house. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and accurately put it to the house. I believe the house is way upstairs. Yes, it is. For some reason, this loves to do this. Let's go to the house, wherever it is on the map. There it is. We can go to the house. Remember, blue arrow, important arrow. The blue arrow is where your character is going to spawn when you teleport or when you move to a different location. So we're gonna go to the kitchen. The kitchen is over here, I believe. Whoa, that is way out of bounds. Yeah, we're still way under. There we go. I think we're good there. Let's see where it's gonna point. We're almost there. So you gotta tinker around with the rotations and stuff. Give me one moment. Are we in the kitchen? No, we're not. Um, but we are in the house now. Okay, good. That's the dining room. Okay, remember, blue arrow is where the direction. We're gonna say right around there for the sake of this tutorial. So we're good there. Now comes the good stuff. We're going to go back to our teleport cube. We're gonna go to asset, and then we're gonna make a folder. We're gonna make a folder. I have a folder called Programming Assets, but I'm gonna redo this so we can go through this together. Okay. So what we need to do, I'm gonna always delete that folder so that we can do this together. So we're gonna do right click on your assets area. We're going to go to create. We're gonna go to folder, and we're gonna title this folder Programming Assets, and we're gonna double click there, and then we're gonna right click again. We're going to create VRChat, Udon, and then we're gonna go to the second one, Udon Graph Programming Assets. The other one, Udon C Sharp Programming Asset, is the same thing, but you're coding it. This one is a visual code. We're going to call this programming asset teleport layer. Keep in mind the way that I named this. Teleport is capital T and layer is capital P. This is a programming rule, by the way. Then what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and open the graph, which looks like this. Okay, this is where that image comes into play now. Before we do anything though, let's go back to the scene. We're going to click on our cube. On our cube, there is going to be a new component. Add component, and we're going to make a udon, UDON. We're going to go udon behavior. You're going to see this particular box, program source. Drag and drop that teleport player Udon Graph Programming Asset that we just did. It's not going to do anything right now because we have not programmed the thing to do anything, the cube to do anything just yet. We're about to do that now. So let's go ahead and start doing stuff with it. I said color does not matter. What matters is the programming asset. So let's go ahead and take a look at that photo that I minimized. And this is the programming asset for the cube teleport player. I'm going to explain all the nodes in just a quick bit, but we're going to go on this one node at a time. So let's go ahead and put the programming asset to use. We're going to, so this is the way that a programming asset works. We use nodes, which are these puppies right here. So let's go ahead and make a variable. We're going to make the variable a transform. Transform is for like movement in this case. Movement and all that good stuff. Okay, and we're going to call this target. Actually, that's a variable. Let's make our variable first. We're going to call this add plus sign transform variable. And we're going to title this when double click. We're going to call this um, target location. Again, coding style here. Press enter. Left click on the arrow that's near the target location variable. We're going to set it to public. The reason being is because we're gonna put our teleport location into the transform. That is why we need that. So let's go ahead and take a look at we're just gonna drag and drop our new variable target location into the node. Then we're gonna get a few things that we need for the transform. We need a few nodes. The first node is get local player under transform. It's a get local, if I can spell right. Or is that an API? Let me just make sure. No, that's a networking API. Excuse me. So you go to networking, type in networking, and get local player. There we go. That's what we need. We're gonna move it up here. Now, when you actually program this yourself, you do not need to go exactly what I do here. This is my way of programming it. You can put it however order you want. The most important part, however, is how you do your node, how you connect them. And we're going to connect them in a quick bit. Let's go ahead and we're going to go also add a get position under transform, get position. Right here, I'm going to put it here. And then we're going to go get another transform, and that is going to be called a get rotation. Uh, there we go, get rotation. That's what we need here. We're also going to need an event interact. So basically, it will interact with an event. Oops, that is incorrect. I need to remove that. That's actually not the one I'm looking for. Event, and then event interact. There we go. Oh, actually, yeah, you're supposed to. Never mind. I did that right. Okay, next we need to get a. Oh, we're gonna do that one later. We're gonna do teleport first. We're gonna need a teleport to under VRC player API. Player API. We need a teleport to player API teleport to, and we're gonna talk about this in a moment. There's your graph to start. Now we're gonna connect our nodes, and I'm going to explain what each node does, and then we're gonna continue from there. So the first node we need to connect is going to be the event interact. And the event interact node goes into teleport to in the arrow. So what does this do? Event interact, when interacting with this cube, is going to trigger the event teleport to, because we are connecting the event interact with the teleport to node, which means that when interacted with this event, this triggers. Okay, we're going to talk about that in later more. Then we have to connect get local player to instance of local player under here, right there. The first one. It's going to get the local player's instance right there. Then we're going to get the position, which is going to go under the third one, which is going to be the target position XYZ. We're going to do this one. It's called a vector. It's going to be turned into a vector at that point. Rotation, go to connect this to teleport ROT. We're not going to talk about quarter ION. That isn't. It's not going to be important here. Target location, we do need to connect twice. We need to connect it to get position and get rotation. To transform to this an instance of that and an instance of rotation. The reason being, it's going to the target location is going to get a positioning and a rotation. That rotation is going to be based on the angle, and positioning is going to be based on position on that cube. Okay, and this is how you connect the node for your teleport. Now the question being is, how do we get to do it? Well, we need to first compile the thing, reload. We're gonna go back to our scene. We're gonna go back to this cube. Keep in mind, now that we have the cube, now we need to teleport somewhere. If you scroll down to here, as you guys can see now, we have a new public variable target location. That target location variable that we just mentioned earlier is going to be now the where we're going to teleport to. So under teleport locations, this is why we made that empty game object. We're going to drag and drop the kitchen teleport to target location, control save. Okay, kitchen, what happens is when we click on this cube, we're going to go to this area under kitchen teleport, which should be right around there. The rotation is based on XYZ, and the blue arrow is going to be where the facing of the character. So we're going to test this right now in two ways. We're going to test in Unity first, pressing the play button, and then we're going to go to VRChat using VRChat testing and the SDK. So that is a VRChat client simulator. So we go to our cube. It says use, and hi there, I'm in the kitchen. And if we do it again, uh, cube. Ta-da! We're back in the kitchen. So that is how you make a teleport, and you can do this many times. What if you want to go to the dining room and not the kitchen? Guess what? Make another cube. We're gonna go back to our cube. We're gonna call this now kitchen cube. We're gonna copy it again. Oops. Yeah, we're gonna copy the kitchen cube, the whole thing. We're gonna put it this way. Under the original kitchen cube, we're gonna put under that under interaction test text, we're gonna say kitchen teleport. The second one we're gonna call it, let's go to the living room. So living room under interaction text. What's gonna happen now is the Udon Graph Programming Asset is already put in there because we copied from the cube. What we need to do now though is we're going to go to kitchen teleport, because we want to go to the living room and not the kitchen. We're going to copy this object. We're going to copy this object, and then we're going to move it to the living room. We're going to move it precisely right here. Let's say we want to move it here. Okay, I don't know. The location doesn't matter for this one, just because I'm just showing you how it works. Now we're gonna rename this kitchen teleport here to living room teleport. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to that second cube. We're gonna call it living room cube. Double click on that, and then we are going to go to the cube itself. We're gonna go here. Instead of kitchen teleport, drag and drop your living room teleport. Control save, we're gonna test it again. Let's see if it actually does what we want. So we're gonna close this menu. We're gonna go to this room. As you can see, living room, kitchen, teleport. Living room, ta-da, we're in the living room. Let's go to the kitchen. Ta-da, we're in the kitchen. So as you can see, we have now created our teleports. Okay, now we're gonna get into some fun stuff. We're gonna do some fun stuff now. But first, before we do fun stuff, I would like you to notice that we're about to get into UI. So what I just showed you was an interactable object. Okay. By the way, there's one more thing we can do with this. Besides teleportation. Now I'm going to copy the cube again. And we're going to go over here, but I'm going to color it different. We're going to have a different color. Let's go to brick project. Let's go to the materials. Let's go to the textures actually. Let's see. Let's make this a wood texture. It doesn't matter. What matters is we're about to turn it into a light switch. So we're going to call this light switch. This is important. We're going to keep these because we're going to use UI in a moment. But light switch. We're going to make a light switch. So now we're going to go to asset. We're going to actually remove, we're not going to remove the Udon graph programming asset, but we are going to change it. So we are now going to go back to our folder for our programming assets. We're going to right click and we're going to create Udon VRChat Udon Graph Programming Asset. We're going to call this light switch. Okay. Now go back to our little cube here. We're gonna go all the way down, and we're gonna turn this on to our light switch programming asset. Now we are gonna change it to our light. Same deal. We're gonna change. I'm gonna explain the node. Okay. So let's go ahead and open our graph. So we are going to need a game object light. Well, we're going to call it light. So we need a game object. Let's call it. Actually, this is going to be a variable, and we call it light. It's a public one too, so we call it light. We're going to drag and drop it, and as you can see, there's the game object. So we're also going to need a get active in hierarchy under game object. Game object, we're going to go to get active in a hierarchy, and then we're going to need a unary negation, and it's under the um, boolean area, or also called a bool, boolean. We're going to need a unary negation. We're also going to need a event interact, because we're interacting with an event. Oops, there we go. And then the main node of the day is set active under the game object. Set active. We're gonna put it over here. Okay. Let's talk about the nodes, and let's talk about what we're connecting here and what do they mean. So, light. Okay. The light is a game object in your hierarchy. So what we're gonna do is uh, we're gonna connect the light game object right here. We're going to go ahead and connect it to an instance, and it's going to say get active in a hierarchy. Is it active? We'll see. Bool. Bool is boolean, which is yes or no, true or false, 1 or 0. Now, why does this matter? Because we need to make sure, we need to check, is the game object active, yes or no, true or false. Okay, this is why we need a unary negation. Okay, then you may have noticed that the example also puts the instance of game object all the way to set active. So once the event is active, we need to make sure that we activate the event under instance. Then event interact, it goes to this arrow. And then the value of set active is based on the unary negation shown here. So we're going to connect this here. So let me explain what is exactly going to happen in just a quick bit. So when we interact with this event, which is the cube to turn on a light, we're going to check, we're going to put it to active, meaning we have to turn it off in the hierarchy before we play. So what's going to happen is we press the cube. The cube is going to set the active of the light to active, but it's also going to check to make sure if it's true or false. If the light is on, turn it off. If the light is off, turn it on. That is the idea. It's a check. That's why you need a boolean to check if, let's just say, Mario, in a Mario game, how many lives do you have left? If it's one and you die again, it's supposed to be 0, right? That's game over. It's gonna check to see if the number of lives is equal or less than equal to 0. If so, game over. If no, keep playing, just lives minus 1. Same thing here. where we're doing the light. Is it on? Turn it off. If it's off, turn it on. Okay, that's what the idea is. So now that we look at the light, let's compile our light switch. If it's okay, press reload, and let's take a look at the scene. Right under cube, left click on the cube, we're gonna see this. Living room. Interaction text. Turn on light. Text placement, don't worry. Public variable light is the self game object. What is the light that we're going to turn on? Well, we can turn on any light, but we're going to turn on this light, which is entry light. Let's go back to our cube object. Let's see where this is, and this is the one I believe. Yes. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we could go down the light variable. We're gonna drag and drop the entry light. But what's gonna happen is we're gonna turn this off. Okay, we're gonna turn it off because we're going to have it off first. Okay, so now what should happen is when we click on it, it's a turn on. If we click on it again, it's a turn off. Let's go ahead and play test before we go to VRChat. We're gonna do some Unity testing first, and then later on VRChat testing. I'll be playing as Catris. But as you can see here, we have turn on light. Ta-da! The light is on. We're gonna turn off the light now. Bye bye light. Good night. Like that. So we turn it on, we turn it off. We turn it on, we turn it off. And we can still teleport to the living room, and ta-da! We made our interactive object. But that's not all we're gonna be talking about today. Because today we're also be talking about UI. We're gonna transition now into talking about UI, also known as user interfaces and mirrors. But first, let's talk about what is a UI. A UI is the ability for players to interact with objects using a user interface system with buttons, drop down menus, and other objects. Basically, if you played any video game, you notice that they have a main menu. The main menu is considered a user interface because you interact with the main menu. You press play, you press load game, you press new game. That is a UI. That is user interface. This is called interactive object. What we're doing right now. What we're about to learn or about to show you is UI. Now, by default, Unity allows you to have UI, but we have an asset store for a reason. Let's go to our asset store, and I have decided that we are going to be using the 2D Game Casual HD UI, or you can find whatever you want. It does not have to be that one. I'm using that one just to show you guys how it's going to look like. So I'm going to find a free asset. We're going to go to 3D. Let's go to, let's see what we can get here. Now, actually, let's go to 2D because it won't matter because it's still going to work. But the idea is to do UI. Okay, we're going to look at this Stone UI graphic pack. As you can see here, we have UI. So as you can see, the boxes, the buttons, all that, that's all here in one pack. And you have icons in the event that you need an icon. Okay, and there's different types. We're gonna go ahead and add to assets because it's a free pack. I'm gonna go ahead and open in Unity. We're gonna close. We're gonna minimize internet. and then we're going to import. We're gonna import this puppy. Download and import actually. Please make sure. Oh, because I forgot we're in play mode. Oops. You have to exit play mode in order to download an asset or import. You don't have to use this specific UI pack. It's just because it's a free pack that I want to use for this lesson. And you can get this pack here. View fuel details. And I'm gonna just copy and paste the link into the chat. So now that we got that out of the way, let's import our Stone UI. Let's have a looky. Let's see what we got here. It's going to be a while, but you can see we have our UI. Import. We're not going to do mirrors until the very end because that one is going to be a double, not double, but it's going to be a split Udon Graph Programming Asset since we're dealing with HQ and LQ, low quality, high quality. The most important part of today's lesson, though, is interactable objects and UI. Now, here's where it gets a little bit dicey, especially with canvases. We're always going to be talking about canvas. The reason why we need the Stone UI today is because we're going to put elements. We're going to change the Unity elements here. So now that it's imported, let's go ahead and save it, just in case. I'm going to turn on the light just so that we know what we're doing here. That is the entry light, and we're going to turn this on. There we go. So I know what we're doing here. So now we are going to do our UI. Let's go ahead and start thinking about what exactly we're going to put in our UI. So for a UI to work, we're going to go ahead and make a new object, create empty, and we're going to call it, let's call it UI element. Okay. And then we're going to go right click again, and we're going to make a UI, turn the UI, we're going to make a canvas. Now you might be wondering, wait a second, where's our canvas? Well, this puppy decided to be a big boy, and it's this big. This big boy. This big boy is our canvas. We don't want big boy canvas. We want small boy. So what's going to happen is we're going to go to this scene, this screen canvas. We're going to go to the inspector and we're going to go to render mode. Click that. We're going to go to road space. It allows you to move the big boy. But this thing is still big. So how do we change the size? Well, for a canvas, it's a little bit different. Under scale, XYZ, we're going to go 1 divided by 1000 or 0.001. 1000. Same thing for Y and same thing for Z. There we go. So now that we moved the canvas, we're going to move it all the way to our house. This will take a while, so bear with me. But anyway, that is how we do the canvas or how we're going to start. This thing is way out here. Uh, Canvas, there we go. Yeah, this is a big fat canvas right here, as you guys can see. But trust me, a lot of VRChat world creators use canvases because it makes it more quote unquote professional. And they have a point. Every time you see me play VRChat, there's always a canvas. There's always a UI element somewhere, a button, a drop down menu, um, things that you would normally see in a video game. They're all in here because it wants to make more professional looking. I'm always going to explain the elements of a canvas as well, besides the whole UI stuff, because we imported a Stone UI asset recently. Let me see if that's inside. No, it's not. So yeah, this takes a while to move, but once you get it down, you'll be all right. Make absolute sure you want that canvas to be in the exact location that you want it to be in. Because making another one by scratch, you're gonna do the same thing. So I would like the best thing I did was make one canvas, copy and paste it for different elements, for different parts of the world you're making. So we're almost there. Eventually we're gonna get there, trust me. It's just that the way that it works here, it's a little bit far fetched. We're almost there as you can see. But this is how it works. That is how a canvas works. I'm gonna go down just a little bit more. You don't want to go down too much, otherwise it could go out of bounds. And going out of bounds here is sucky. Okay, now let's see. Oh, we're almost there. And I'm gonna explain what people use canvases for as well. Once we get there, then we can start talking about, ooh, what do we put on the canvas besides stuff, stuff of joy in this case. That is where the fun begins actually. For most VRChat worlds, you want to have a canvas. Now, thankfully, there is a screen that we can actually use in the living room for a little testing. What do I mean by that? In the living room, there is a screen that we can use. So remember the TV, and we're here. We're almost there. We're actually inside of the house now. So now we're gonna rotate it, and then we're going to move it toward that TV screen you see over there in the living room. We're gonna use that as our base for today. Let's see. That is why a lot of worlds get more views or more visitors because of elements that make it more interactable, especially with worlds. Let's see how close we are. Okay, I'm gonna start rotating this around. Uh, there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and resize our Mr. Canvas. We're gonna call this Mr. TV Canvas, whatever you want to call it. Does not matter. I'm gonna call this Living Room Canvas. The name does not matter. What matters, however, is what's inside. We're gonna go ahead and resize our Mr. Canvas all the way to fit the TV. Okay, now let's make sure that everything is inbound so we can actually see it. Yes, okay. You see the white box? That it means inbound. So you're good. Now this is still inbound no matter what, but we want to make sure that the canvas itself is actually inbound. The one thing you do not want to do is put the canvas inside of the TV asset. That's no no. That's a no no. Because if you do, then you're gonna move the canvas and everything inside of it as a child. So if I did this where I dragged the canvas into the TV asset, that means the canvas is always part of the TV. If I move the TV, everything along with the screen, the mount, and the canvas would move together. Now, the only reason why I would do that is if I'm going to move the actual TV and I want to move it to the bedroom. That's the only time I would consider moving everything. Now, we're going to go ahead and learn what elements are in a canvas. So if we right click on the canvas and we go to UI, we have the following option. We have an image, which we can import your own image. We have a text mesh, text mesh pro, a raw image. We can even have a panel. We have a toggle, slider, scroll bar, scroll view, button, drop down, input field, canvas again, a second canvas, an event system, and legacy. The most common things you're going to see in VRChat is a panel as well as buttons. Okay? In video games, in legit video games, the ones you can download, you're also going to see more more slider, scroll bar. You're going to see a scroll view like a Resident Evil game. Okay? Resident Evil, you're going to see more scroll view because you want to read the story. That's where that is. Drop down for options, input field where you can type in text and all that good stuff. For today, we are gonna go ahead and make a oopsie. That's what we're gonna make an oopsie. Anyway, we're gonna make a. Let's go ahead and drop it down to a UI. We're gonna make a panel, and we're gonna resize our panel. Let's rename this. Let me see here. There we go. We're gonna resize this. Let's resize it to. Let's see. The size does not matter unless you are putting like a actual thing where you want to put some stuff. So let's resize this to here. Okay, normally you would see this in a video game menu. Okay, I'm showing you guys what we can do here with the canvases for now, and then we're gonna start real stuff. Okay, now that we have the panel, inside of that panel, we're gonna right click and we're gonna go ahead and put a button, actually a text, text, a text mesh pro first, and that is this guy right here. Okay, now you see text. I believe that is incorrectly. That is a badly rotated one. Just rotate it, and ta-da, you're there. And then up, we're gonna go up. We're gonna go up to the top. We're gonna call this "Welcome to My Home." I don't care what you call it. Just put some text. Welcome to my home. Then we're gonna go ahead and center align this thing. We're gonna click on the panel again. We're going to copy this panel, put it under the panel asset, and we're gonna call this section one. Go on, Bryce. I see you. Well, how are you doing, bud? Ready for Fortnite on Sunday? We're doing it again. So section one, we're going to go ahead and resize Mr. Panel here. Let's go ahead and resize this. yeah, world building today for the morning, and later tonight we have VRChat, and then we have Final Fantasy 9. We're going to go ahead and color this red. Let's go red. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Oops. Let's put this text here. Welcome to my home. Yeah, I'm ready too, bud. So what exactly are we doing here? So now we're gonna go ahead and panel, right click, and we're gonna go to UI. We're gonna go to a button. Oh, it's a button. Nice. Watch this. Actually, this needs to go under panel, and I need to make a empty object. I'm gonna call this button, and then we're gonna call this test button. It's not gonna do anything, trust me, because we don't do anything yet. Um, we're gonna go ahead and put Mr. Button up there, and then we're going to rotate Mr. Button until he is 90 degrees right there. We're gonna resize. We're gonna scale up the button like so, and save. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna test this in VRChat. It's not gonna do anything because we didn't program it yet. What it's gonna do eventually is we're gonna make a mirror now. But we're gonna do that in just a quick bit. Yeah, so Fortnite this Sunday, everybody, for our out of pocket. We're gonna be on YouTube and Facebook for this one. YouTube at 5:30, Facebook at 9:45. Okay, so let's see what we did. So now we're in VR chat, testing wise. So I'm gonna be Catrice tonight for VR chat. Looks like Catrice or Francis the Wolf. We'll see. But right now I have Catrice up. Yep, there we go. And ta-da! There's our little button that does absolutely nothing because we didn't do anything yet. Oh, oops, oopsie. There's a second. There's a second text. But as you can see, welcome to my home, and we have that panel. Well, it's a boring panel right now, though. Let's make it unboring. I accidentally put this text up here. This should not be there. Delete that one. That's okay. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna click on the panel, go to inspector. We're gonna go to source image, press the plus sign. We're gonna change the background, and we're gonna use that Stone UI um asset pack that we just found. And we're gonna go ahead and find the panel thing if they have one. If not, that's okay. I have another asset pack for the 2D. This is for a slider. Let's see. That's slider number 17. That's okay if we cannot find one from Stone UI. What we can find, let's see, is this one. Or this one in this case, actually. That's actually a better one right here. Let me see if we have another one here. No. Okay, now we can also do the same thing for the button. For the button, it's gonna be under. Da, 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 da. For the button, it's gonna be under. I believe. No, it's not canvas render. We have to add a. We have to add a component image. I think no, because the. Oh, text message pro GUI. That's the reason why. Okay, that's why because that's an automatic one right there. Let's see. So we cannot really um put this right there, but as you can see, we just changed our panel, and that's a better looking panel than the Unity one. And then we can adjust the the stuff here. So welcome to my home. Let's go ahead and tell the viewers, or in this case, the let's tell everybody, hey, can you do my home? Well, we're gonna make another panel. That's what we're gonna do first. So under the panel, we're gonna make a second panel, UI panel. We're making a second one. We're gonna go ahead and resize this panel to put it under um here. Let's make it to where we can go inside of the green box. Let's color this black so that we can see it. And inside of that panel, the second one, right click and we're gonna make a text. UI text. And ta-da! We have the text. Let's go ahead and rotate this to here. We're gonna go ahead and do this. We're gonna go up and then we're gonna say welcome to my test world. I hope you have fun in here. This world was made for our tutorial series on YouTube to present how to make a VRChat world in Unity. We can put this down. We can put this down, actually not the panel itself, the text. I think the text is right here. Yes. We can put it down. Oh, not the panel, the text. There we go. We can put this down because what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this panel under section 1. The buttons, I have to move it to a different section here. Let's go to the button. Let's go to the panel. I'm going to copy and paste it. But I'm going to put it under, let's see where it's going to go. We're going to go here. And I'm going to put under this one, under the new one. Oops, there we go. We're going to call this about. And then the text for about is going to be about this world. And then it should be like a heading. And then this panel is going to move down a bit. But it makes it more cool. So there's your panel. Okay. And I'm gonna resize this panel so that I can put it over here. So this is going to encompass the whole screen. Ta-da! And then I'm gonna put the panel, the new one, the other one here. I'm gonna resize it. Oops. Let me see. This is under. Why is it moving? Oh, because it's under that one. That's why. Okay, hold up. Gotta change that too. So there we go. And I can just fix the everything else right there. There we go. There we go. We fixed it. I can always change the style at any time. That is the beauty of this. And I can change this part to here. Then I can go in here and move it back. So this part gets its own section. And then I can change the panel size. Let's see here. There we go. I can change the panel size, but I have to make sure that I move the text first. Let me see where this is. Okay, this is on in here. I'm gonna move the text first outside because I am going to move the panel itself. Okay, so now we can move the panel. There we go. We can resize it now if we needed to. And then for the text, we can always move it and move the whole size of the text. There we go. Now I'm gonna make a new section. This is where we're gonna start playing with buttons now. This is gonna be where we can start mirrors. So first, let's go ahead and see this panel. Let me just make sure I'm moving the right one. Yes. Okay, we're good. Now I'm gonna resize the panel again. We're gonna move it back. There we go. And we're gonna move it along with the text. Let's see here. Yes. Okay. Good. We're gonna move it back now. Oops. There we go. Now we're moving the panel. I'm gonna move it to here. Nice. Now we are gonna go ahead and copy and paste it and move it down. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna retitle this panel to mirrors. Mirror info. So now we're gonna be actually doing mirrors. So let's go ahead and do the text. We're gonna do the first one is the heading. Mirror info heading. Under the name, we're gonna talk about mirrors. And then the text should say Use the buttons below to toggle mirrors. There is a H cube mirror and a L cube mirror. Okay, and then I'm going to move the text down. Then I'm going to resize the panel itself. Again, move the text mirror info and then mirror panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these three out so I can resize the mirror, the panel itself. Okay, now we're going to right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring them back. I believe that was this one. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and move our button to here inside. Move the text a little bit to the right. We're going to center the text. And then we are going to move the buttons. Oopsie. We're going to call this button HQ mirror. And then the text is going to say HQ. I'm going to resize the button to here. I'm going to move the button to here. I'm going to copy the button, rename this to LQ mirror, and then move it over here. Uh, Here, there we go. The second one is going to be called ALQ. Now, now we get into our final Udon Graph Programming Asset for today. And this one's a doozy. So, let's go ahead and go to our photo for that. Let me actually go find it because I have it. Here we go. This is a doozy because there's a lot more now. So we're going to go ahead and make a new right click, create VRChat Udon Graph Programming Asset. We're going to call this mirror toggle. Save, and then we're going to open the graph. So we are going to need two elements. I mean, two elements, two variable, and they are called HQ mirror and LQ mirror. It is a game object. It's a game object. Okay. So we're gonna go to variables, game object. Let me see what's going on. There we go. We call this HQ mirror, and then the second one, oops, is gonna be an LQ mirror or LQM. Both of them must be public variables. And then we're gonna go ahead and start posting it together. And we're gonna actually use the mirror asset. Okay, now here's where it gets a little more interesting. We're also gonna need an event interact, and we need a get active self under game object. Get active self. We also need a unary negation under boolean. Okay, we're gonna organize this later. We're just putting the stuff. We need a game object set active. Game object set active. Then we need a set active game object. The second one. We need two of these puppies uh, under game object set active. Oops, no, that's not it. Um, Game object set active. There we go. We need a second one because we're gonna need our HQ LQ mirror. So one is for the HQ mirror, one is for LQ. So, so let's go ahead and start connecting. So first, let's connect the the HQ mirror. We're gonna first connect the interact with the first set active node. So we're gonna do this like oops, like so. Okay, that's good. Then we're going to need to connect the HQ mirror to instance of set active. And then we are going to go to the value. We're going to go to get active self. And we're going to need the unary negation to bool. Oops, no, there we go. Then we're going to use this as well in a moment. Then for unary negation 1, we need to put it under value no value bool on the first one. So this guy. Okay, now we're going to control save. Okay. Okay, now the next part is we are going to connect the second node from set active 1 to set active 2, which is this guy right here to this guy. Then it's going to go to this LQ mirror game object to set instant. So, what is going on here? What's going on? Oops. What is going on with this particular Udon Graph Programming Asset? So what's going on here with the mirror is this. So if we interact with our upcoming button, it's going to do this. It's going to turn on the mirror for HQ. Okay? It's going to get that active self. Then it's going to check, is it an HQ mirror or is it an LQ mirror? If it's an HQ mirror, then what's going to happen is it's going to check to see if it can be active. If not an HQ mirror, then it's probably an LQ mirror. Then it's going to check that too. Now, for more context, we're going to consult. Well, I consulted a video for this one, so we know exactly what we're doing here. Then it's going to check the mirror. So it's not going to do anything yet because we have not set the we don't have the mirror yet. It's we're going to use VRC mirror. But the video I was checking out is this one right here by Shy VR. So as you can see here, we have the mirror toggles with UI button, okay, and the cutout. Actually, I was consulting a different one. Hold on one moment. I was consulting. Let me just make sure I was
That's
consulting the
for
right one here.
toggle
Yeah, this one.
font.
So as you
But
can see here,
here, I'm gonna go to
we
a
have the
symmetric view,
mirror,
so
which is
it's a bit
the
easier to handle. I'm
believe
gonna
the
go
VRC
to
mirror.
clickable in VRChat. Then
So we're gonna have to open up the VRC mirror here. So VRC mirror is I know VRC has one. VRC player. One mirror is from the let me see. No, that's from the asset pack. So let me see if VRC mirror is here. Because I know they have one usually. VRC chair really have a VRC chair. There's VRC mirror. Ah, ta-da! We have our mirror. Ta-da! And there's our mirror right there. Let's resize this puppy. And now we're gonna do um we're gonna do show players in world. Okay. Mirror resolution is gonna be auto. Let's see what we got. Let's test it first without placing it. Like let's test it inside of VRChat to show you guys what it looks like inside. Okay, now let's see. Let's see how it looks. We should be seeing Catris because that's where the mirror is right now. And ta-da! Look at that. We have our mirror. We have our mirror. Well, obviously it's work in progress. Okay, so we cannot do anything yet because well, we don't have anything yet. We didn't even put the asset pack, the programming asset. So let's see to make sure we are doing the right thing. We put it, we put the right thing in there. So this is the Udon graph. That is the one that we were using. Okay, now it's going to get a little bit more interesting, especially in runtime. We have runtime assets here. So let's take a look. On runtime only, no function.
Then it says no function,
Under
so
no
click on
function, what he does
Udon
is
behavior.
Udon
You get a
behavior,
big long list, but just look for this
and
one
he
right here
puts
called
in
interact.
interact.
And there you
So, and
okay,
then
that's
what he's gonna
pretty much
do
this one done. So now we're gonna do the same thing for the cutout mirror,
is go to
but
the other
instead of
one,
starting off with the HQ mirror, I'm gonna start
the
off with the
cutout
cutout.
mirror. You
It's
don't
pretty
need a
much
cutout mirror.
unstoppable. So I'm just gonna get this one done.
It's exact the same thing.
Okay, so now we have the HQ mirror toggle and the cutout mirror toggles buttons. Then we can go back to our scene tab up here at the top. So now when we click,
So what's gonna happen is we're going to put it on click, interact, under Udon behavior. So let's go ahead and put that under HQ. So let's go to the the graph, the button itself, the mirror. The button is gonna be this one right here. We're gonna go to HQ mirror inspector. We are gonna put on Udon behavior. We're gonna put the programming asset, the one we just made. Uh, there we go. The HQ mirror is this puppy right here. Okay. The LQ mirror is going to copy the HQ mirror but worse quality. Usually the other one we're going to copy and paste same spot. One of them is going to be inactive first. Okay. Then the LQ is going to be the same thing, Udon behavior, but we're gonna do the other one. But we're not gonna do this one today. You're gonna need a Udon behavior anyway. Okay. We're gonna see. So this is gonna turn on with this one. Okay. So we're gonna turn off the mirrors today first, so that we can test this correctly. Okay. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna make sure that the Udon graph works correctly. So we're gonna go ahead and test it inside of Unity. Let's see if it works correctly. If not, we're missing one step then. Or I forgot to do one thing. I think I forgot one thing. Let me see one thing in here. Because for some reason, I think we need a VRC shape. Oh, he puts a mirror reflection. This one puts a mirror reflection script. No, it's already automatically in. Does he ever use a VRC shape? Let's see. Because I've seen VRC shape. Let's see.
And there you
Because
go.
I
So you
haven't
see
been
set
able
the
to use
character
buttons right.
locally in pixel
But
to
I
bring
think
this file
objects are
type
fine.
into
He has
UDON.
a cutoff mirror down.
I just got the go
I
apply
don't think that should matter.
and button. As you can see, it's very big
Does he
and it's
put
backwards. So
VRC shape?
click on the canvas, rotation on the y-axis to
I don't think
180.
so.
So now it's facing us.
Oh yes, he does. Never mind. Right there. VRC shape. It's right there. It's the button. No, it's canvas. So that's what's going on here. So let me see where this canvas is. Mirror info. We need to have a VRC shape. VRC shape, or is it a VRC shape? Oh, VRC UI shape. Excuse me. So this script is supposed to make it interactable. That's what this script is. Let's see if that is the correct um call, because I've seen it not work for me for a while because I'm using 2022. Or let me see one quick thing. Let me see the layer he puts it at. He puts it at the default layer for the canvas. That's interesting. Which is I have it here. Let's see what happens if I put it to UI. I could actually do it but for cubes if I need to. Unless I forgot to put it on LQ too. Close menu. Yeah, I think it's because I don't have VRUI shape on some of them. Okay, so I'm gonna remove the LQ button for now, just so that we can make this one work. Oopsie. This button needs to work. Okay, nice. Let me see if the Udon graph is actually. Yeah, it's okay. Remember, you gotta test out everything. You never know what's gonna happen, what's gonna break. Yeah, I want to try something. I'm very interested to see what happens if instead of a button, I'm gonna go to my cubes. Where is that light switch? Okay, I want to see something. So I'm gonna copy this cube. I'm gonna move it over to where the original button is supposed to be. Now this is not supposed to be done like this, but I am testing this out to see what happens if I use a cube on object instead. I'm very skeptical of this one. This is why you test things though. Okay, let's see here. Remove this button, and then we're just gonna um for the text. Uh, let's see mirror info. Let's see. Ooh, yes. Okay. Copy paste. We're gonna put. We're gonna move this down. We're gonna say HQ test. We're gonna go right here. Excuse me. I'm gonna make sure this cube is not out of bounds. Okay, I think we're good there. Yes. Gonna move the text up a bit. Okay. Now we're gonna move our programming asset in here, our mirror toggle, and then we are gonna put in this mirror. Yeah. Let's see what happens. They're both off to start. And no. Yeah. Let me see something. Oops. Let me see why it didn't launch it. Oh, because um LQ mirror is not even on the board. We might need to do the graph for the other one too. But I think it's just copy and paste almost. Yeah, I think we're getting closer, but we need to open up the other one too. So we're going to do the graph for the other side, which is the LQ. Oh, you know what? Hold up. I might have missed something. Remember, we need to do an on-click. We need to do an on-click event. Let me see here.
Start being programmed on pretty much.
For the
Okay.
HQ one.
Okay, so let's get going with doing the udons rule that we made right here. Scroll down to the udon
Yep.
behavior and click new program. Then once it's done, click open udon graph. Now, so you can see you can start
We need to do
from
an
this.
on-click
It's
of
about like click on it, scroll
interact.
down, and where it says public, this one. Then on the button script right here, where it says none object, we're working with the HQ mirror toggle button right now.
Right here. Okay. This is a button, technically speaking. Oops. So we need to do an on click. Oops. We could go here. We're gonna go to plus. We're gonna go to the button right here. Make sure our graph is in there. Yes. Okay. We're gonna go to um, Udon behavior, and we're gonna go to interact. I think that's what happened there. Let's let's test it out because we have an event that interact on the script. No, nothing's showing up yet because I think we need to do the other side. Let's go ahead and see the script for the other side.
We're gonna drag that into it so it's referencing itself pretty much. Then it says no function, so we click on it. Udon behavior. You get a big long list, but just look for this one right here called interact. And there you go, that's pretty much this one done. So now we're gonna do the same thing for the cutout mirror, but instead of starting off with the HQ mirror, I'm gonna start off with the cutout. We're just pretty much gonna swap roles. So I'm just gonna get this one done.
Basically, it's the same
Okay, so
thing
now we
except
have
you're
the
using the
HQ
cutout
mirror
mirror.
toggle and the cutout mirror toggles buttons done. We can go back to our scene tab up here at the top. So now
But we'll finish it up again next time, y'all. Because time is up here. We're gonna continue mirrors on Tuesday. All right. That's all for now. We'll see you at 5:30 for VR chat. Right now, I am going to be Catrice for the moment. We'll see what happens later. That's all for now. We'll see you guys at 5:30 for VR chat live. We'll see what happens. Either Catrice or Francis the Wolf. We'll see. Enjoy. And then later tonight, Final Fantasy 9 continues for the moment. Yeah.